I'm your host, Logan23. You're joining me for The Silent Twin, Chapter 16. Dear Diary. So an arrest has been made, Radcliffe of all people. If ever there was more unlikely handyman, I had yet to make their acquaintance. And yet it got me thinking because Radcliffe tends to more than the farm. Plans continue to hatch in my brain. The voice of reason has been pleading for mercy, telling me that once Abigail dies, there's no going back. But you see, there is, and I know just the person to take the blame for her demise. Detective's notes, Abigail Duncan, 4 days gone. An anonymous call from Crime Stoppers, that's how they found out about Radcliffe. The witness claimed they'd seen Radcliffe carrying something into the woods, something wrapped in a blanket. That, along with the past intelligence and Radcliffe's lack of alibi when questioning, was enough. That they found him driving around the edge of a farm in a suspicious manner didn't help his cause. Could Radcliffe have been responsible all along, or were we making a terrible mistake? Knock on the door to Karen's flat. I just don't buy it. Radcliffe's more like a convenient scapegoat to me, and I can't help but feel that Ethan wanted to pin this on him all along. I've got some leads of my own to follow. Karen opens the door. She gives you a frosty glare. I'm DC Jennifer Knight. I know who you are. Can I come in? Karen hesitates. After a moment, she nods and steps aside. Karen's flat is small, cozy. The aroma of sandalwood incense lingers in the air. What can I do for you? I need to convince her to open up about her affair with Nick, but I don't want to push her over the edge. This could be tricky. I'll accuse her outright. Here goes nothing. I heard you and Nick talking in the girls' room. I know you're having an affair. Karen's pale. You were spying on us? Never mind me. What about you? Karen's lips tighten as her bravado falls away. She visibly squirms into your gaze. Karen. Withholding the truth won't end well for you. It's time to take gloves off. I mean, this girl's been missing for 4 days. If you don't tell me the truth now, you can come clean at the station. In an interrogation room. Karen's nods anxiously on her lip. After a moment, she relents. You'd better sit down. She lowers herself on the sofa next to Karen. She takes a deep, steadying breath. We're not having an affair. Nick's like a brother to me. But I heard you say... I've known him for ages. I had some problems with my ex-boyfriend and he sorted it out for me. Even helped me get an attachment on CID. Owe him a lot. Then why did you tell him to leave his wife? I don't understand why the one left eye moves every time we switch. Feel free to go back and look. It just moves on its own. The right one stays the same. Because she makes his life hell. Call it mental abuse, but she's not all the sweetness and light like she comes across. Sweetness and light is not how I would have described Joanna. If there's a hate campaign against her, then it's all she deserves. That hate campaign, there was a user who knew details about the case no civilian was privy to. Could Karen be Truth 00 Seeker? Joanna's very manipulative. Right from the beginning, she wanted Nick all to herself. What do you mean? Why do you think she bought that farm in the middle of nowhere? And when people do visit, she sets herself up to look like the victim. It's just another form of control. She's turning his friends against him. So he's more reliant on her. This doesn't sit right with me. Joanna's troubled, but is she really that manipulative? I think that Karen is... This one's tough. It's actually very tough. You gotta put on your thinking hat. I think that Karen is telling the truth, misguided, her heart's in the right place. A liar. I mean, Nick does seem on edge. And especially a person who's, and I can speak from personal experience, that's being forced into something they typically do sit on edge like that. And it would give certainly Nick the reason for why he's on edge. He's so unhappy. You're taking away his friends, his livelihood, everything to sit out in the middle of nowhere. I can understand that. Damn. I'm gonna go with misguided. It feels like a middle. She seems sincere, but her reading of the situation feels way off. Joanna can't possibly be that evil. Karen, have you ever thought that Nick could be exaggerating the facts? I've borne the brunt of his temper. He's very quick to react. Their daughter's missing. Nick needs support right now, and Joanna's just in her own little world of make-believe. I wouldn't be surprised if she was behind the whole thing. You don't like her very much, do you? I can't stand the bitch. She's a leech. Don't you see? It's all about her, how much she can siphon from someone or something. She never cared about Nick or the kids. It's the attention she craves. She has a housekeeper raising her kids when she's at home all day herself. If you want to see who's taken Abigail, start looking at her. For someone that's not in a relationship, you see very passionate about this. As I said, Nick's my friend. But I hear you say he's having an affair. Karen looks away, her eyes drifting to a photo on the mantelpiece. If you want to know any more, you'll have to talk to Nick. I feel like a dog chasing his tail and getting nowhere. Pretty much, yeah, go round and round. Karen? No, illusion of choice. Call me if you hear anything. If you know anything about Abigail's disappearance, you have to tell me. Even if she's dead, we've got to bring her home her body. She won't be at rest until we do. I would never withhold information, especially not in the case involving a disappearance of a child. I can see what it's doing to Nick, but at least now we can see what his wife's really like. You open the door, nearly run into Karen's brother, Matt. Whoa, sorry. Are you alright? Yes, I'm fine. DC Knight was just leaving. You look over at the photo on the mantelpiece again. Wait a minute. Nick, Karen, Matt. Karen said Nick was like a brother to her. Like a brother-in-law? Turn back to Karen and Matt, and they both look nervous. Told you, illusion of choice. I'll just come back later. How long have you been in a relationship with Nick, Matt? Matt's expression drops. He quickly enters the flat, closing the door behind him. You don't have to tell her anything, Matt. It's none of her business. It is if it has some bearing on the case, and I suspect it does. You mean at Matt's eyes. Am I wrong? Matt sinks onto the sofa and buries his face in his hands, taking him a moment to gather the nerve to speak. We've been seeing each other for 5 years before he met Joanna. Since then, it's been off and on. When was the last time you and Nick were intimate? Matt, you don't have to... The morning of Abigail's disappearance. Wait. Were you and him... when at... Wow. Okay, then. And that's when Olivia caught the two of you? Matt looks away with a hint of shame. Yes, we were in the cowshed, Nick and I. Nick was horrified. I mean, what kid wants to walk in on that? What, either his daddy plowing or you? Question mark? Plowing the field, were we? Oh, man! Oh. And then what happened next? Nick didn't handle it very well. His stepmom, Wendy, is very conservative. He was terrified that his family would disown him again. He lost the plot. He told Olivia to keep quiet. I told him she looked scared, but he got annoyed. He told me it was my fault, that I shouldn't have come, so I left. It's his fault because he kept he didn't keep his pants on! So this is the secret Olivia was keeping. The reason she's been acting scared of Nick. Matt. Ooh! How did you know it was Olivia? Matt frowns, his eyebrows drawing together. Abigail's missing, so it had to be her. But how did you know it was Olivia and not Abigail that found you? Nick said it was. I can't tell them apart. Why, you don't think... No, I'm just asking, nothing more. Are we done here, Detective? Yes, I think we are. Thank you for your time and cooperation. You turn as your hand touches the doorknob. Oh, and Karen, I recommend you stay off Twitter for a while. Karen flushes. She opens her mouth to speak, then shuts it again. I never really liked Twitter anyway. Uh-huh. Night has fallen by the time you arrive at the farm. I hate the idea of getting involved in a colleague's love life, but it's only relevant to this investigation because Nick made it that way. If he had told the truth from the beginning, I wouldn't have any reason to suspect him. As you pull up to the farm, you see Nick heading out on foot towards the fields. Something's still bothering me, though. Matt said he left as Nick was talking to Olivia, but how did Matt know it was Olivia and not Abigail? We already went over this, he didn't. What if it was Abigail, and in a fit of shame and rage, Nick did something to her? You catch up to Nick. Nick, I need to talk to you. Not now. He looks angry. You find yourself struggling to match his pace. Nick, did something happen? Nothing happened. That's just it. No one's found my daughter. Nick. Just leave me alone, alright? I'm done with you and your talks. I know about your affair. Nick stops. What affair? You and Matt. Nick frowns, his Adam's apple bobbing as he swallows hard. I don't know what you mean. Save it, Nick. I already spoke to Karen and Matt. They told me everything. Nick looks away in shame. Nick, it makes no difference to me, but it's relevant to the case when you're asking your daughter to keep secrets. Nick toys with a silver ring on his finger. I'm not gay. I'm a married man. I love my wife and my children. You don't have to be gay to like both sides. I'm just saying, bro. Nick, it might be a big deal to your mum, but it's not to me. I wouldn't even be asking you if it wasn't for the investigation. I suppose the whole station knows. What do you take me for? But I think you're doing your colleagues a disservice. It's not like the olden days. There are plenty of gay people in the police force. I can't go public. I've got my marriage to think of. And Olivia? Nick looks out at the fields. I was wrong to ask her to lie for me. I know that now, but I panicked. Joanna knew about Matt when we met. My parents, they disowned me. But Joanna got us back together again, at the expense of my friendship with Matt. Meaning Joanna seemed right, and I wanted to start a family for a few years everything was good. But I bumped into Matt on a night out. We started to see each other, and I knew I'd be living a lie to please my family. I decided to get a divorce when Joanna announced she was pregnant. I'll ask what happened with his marriage to Joanna, what happened to the relationship to Matt, how he felt about Olivia discovering him with Matt. That's not prevalent. Of course he was ashamed, I'm sure, so, the whole 9 yards, your daughter finding out about you being with another person, let alone, his friend. We already know about the marriage with Johanna. She probably said, I'm pregnant, and right when he was gonna break it, he's like, wait, what? So he kept the marriage, of course. He still married her. Relationship with Matt. And what happened with Matt? We broke all ties. But then Karen, his sister, came back into my life through work. Things between us started up again. Matt came to see me on the farm. Nick swallows the lump in his throat. And that was the day Abigail disappeared? Nick turns back to you, his eyes glistening. Yes. He said he was going to confront Joanna, get everything out in the open. I persuaded him to give me some time, and then, well, we got carried away. Uh-huh. Your relationship with Matt is a vital piece of information. You shouldn't have hidden it from us. We all do things we regret. I'm not proud of my actions. I wanted to be in a normal relationship and accepted by my parents. I love Joanna, just not in that way. But every time I tried to leave, she'd self-harm or threaten to tell my parents. Oh! I've been there. I was in a very controlling relationship like that. Didn't last very long because I got tired of it. Karen was right. Joanna is manipulative. How do you know Johanna hasn't orchestrated Abigail's disappearance? The thought had occurred to me, but she was with Fiona the whole time. And I don't think she'd actually lay a finger on the children. She'd never even smack them. Yes, but there's a difference between laying a finger on them and making them disappear in a hole. Besides, the police think it's Radcliffe. True. Although, I heard he's out on bail while forensics check his van. You know, some cable poking out of Nick's back jacket pocket. Why does he have that? Wait, Nick. Where were you going before I came here? Nick follows your eyes to his pocket. He stuffs the cables back inside. His body language changes. His tone becomes defensive. I told you I needed some air. Nick, were you on your way to see Radcliffe? Nick looks away, the tension on his face building. Well, if you thought some piece of crap took your daughter, wouldn't you want to beat the living shit out of him until he confessed? Or you kill him. Nick, I'm on the force, remember? I have friends. Friends who can pass on the information. You don't. I know all about Radcliffe, a loner with interest in children. Oh. I condone this. What? I mean... Or they found hundreds of pictures on his computer when they searched his home. Those weren't inappropriate images. Besides, the only evidence is circumstantial. So he's a closet pedo. That's fantastic. I still condone this. Police intelligence stated he had an interest in children, photographing them in town. Why the fascination unless he was building up to something? And that's how a lot of them get started. I've worked enough cases to know pain families carry when the perpetrator goes free. Justice doesn't always prevail. Nick, you have to let the police conduct their investigation. Abby might not be alive, but she won't be for much... Might be alive, but she won't be for much longer. It's been 5 days, damn it! What's the cable for, Nick? I need to get the information out of him by any means necessary. Nick, I can't allow you to do that. Then we've got a problem, because I'm going right now. And there's nothing you can do or say to stop me. The fire in his eyes tells you he's right. I'll tell him I'm going with him. Fine, but I'm coming with you. And we do this the proper way, understand? Yeah, you play good cop while I beat the shit out of him. Can I play as Nick, please? Oh my god, please. The closet vigilante in me, oh my god, please. Nick turns and continues towards Radcliffe's cottage. Damn it. You follow after him. Oh, please, the closet vigilante in me. This is, okay, so in case you haven't heard, and I'll keep, actually, you most likely will see some boxes appearing on your screen here in just a second, if not already. One of them is about how choices in the TOS and everything. Pretty much, I have went through chapters TOS. They're not as invasive as choices. Neither is episodes or a lot of the other visual apps that you guys have suggested to me. Congratulations, Pixelberry. You, after looking at the terms and service of Facebook, are worse than Facebook on collecting data of people. So with that being said, I love how, by the way, chapters actually comes out with stories. That is, they get the permission of people. They get the permission of the authors. They even credit the authors, the whole 9 yards. Versus choices, again, if you go to that video, they are going to, by you agreeing to the TOS, are going to take fan fictions, are going to take any and all stories that you have wrote, by you agreeing, and they're going to take them and use them, by the way. So, yeah, check out that video. With that being said, I hope y'all did enjoy the video. We have a ton to get to today. So I thought I'd start the day off with just that little mini announcement. There's not going to be a lot because we have A Court of Nightfall, 5 chapters of that. By the way, The Mermaid and the Vampires Who Love Them, that is on hiatus this week. By chapters. Since today, by the way, congratulations, 2 chapters. They are going to be put on the recommended Google Play for today. So really give them, especially if you like the app, give them some love, share with them, give them some props. They're gonna be, going for that one of those top contender spots, and I fully endorse chapters. I've had a lot of fun. So some other things have been gimmicky, but they're releasing Court of the Nightfall today, 5 and then 9 chapters of Calendar Girl, which is very interesting. Court of the Nightfall was one of the books that was all the way down here, so I'm glad that they're finally pulling one of those up. It looks like, could be wrong, let's double check here. Looks like that other one's gone. Damn. The, Everlast, or whatever the hell it was called, that was around mystery thriller to young adult, I believe. That's actually gone now. That sucks. I was waiting for that one. I guess they're not gonna go. Vampire Girl, I hope they still go with, and Gold Rush, I hope they still go with. And then they're working on a lot of their stories, clearly by the 2 coming out today, and then also Silent Twin. So I'm looking forward to that. Without further ado, remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. Head down description below, links to social media, our Discord, and a few links that support me and my content. And until next time, stay well, stay awesome, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace.